The first options we see available to us in the album builder dialog are the layout options. The height and width are in inches and correspond to the height and width of the spread in the album. So if you have a 10 by 10 album, the height will be 10 and the width will be 20. We're multiplying a page by 2 to get the width. If you start and end with a single side, click yes, and Album Builder will automatically divide the first and last pages by 2, so you'll have a starting 10 by 10 page and a starting 10 by 10 ending, and the rest of the files that it creates will be 10 by 20. For resolution, put a number you feel comfortable with. 250, 300 is usually good for the pixels per inch. And then we have the next options available to us are the folder options. The image folders is the first one, and this is the folder of folders that we have sorted our images into. If you haven't watched the DVD yet, let me explain that to you briefly. Here I have a folder corresponding to each spread in an album, and I've sorted my images into it. So page 1-2 would become the first PSD file that Album Builder outputs, all the way up to page 3940. If you start and end with a single side, you don't need to do this, but since Album Builder will name these files it creates based on the folders, you can start with page 01, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up until you would have page 40, like so. But I'm not going to start and end with a single side, so I'm doing page 01, 02. It's important to note that due to file system issues, you need to have the 01, 03, 05 in front of the number. Otherwise, these could get out of order when ordering prints or sending the print files to the lab. Next thing you know, page 1-2 somehow ends up right here after 910. I've seen it happen, so just make sure to have 01, 02. These folders are also available for download on our website if you just want to get a nice pre-made set of folders for yourself. So that's what Album Builder will do. You choose the image folders. They're located on my desktop, and it's named Build Folders. I see all the build folders there, and I can just hit choose. And it's selected them. And then the output folder, basically just where I want to save it. Could be any folder on your computer. And then again, you can hit choose. When we hit build, it'll begin to add the images to a new spread and convert them to smart objects and lay them out just in a simple contact sheet type layout, so it makes it relatively easy to start on a spread. Now that we have that, I'm going to click the build button and it'll build for us, and then once it's done, I'll open up a spread and we'll take a look at what we have. The Album Builder is finished putting together the spreads for us, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what it's done. We have 20 files here that correspond to the 20 build folders that we have sorted the images into. You can see that page 1-2 folder has these 2 images in it here, and that spread 1-2 now has those 2 images placed on it. They're placed as smart objects, which allow for transformations to be made without loss of pixel quality. So I'm going to transform this image down, and you should all know that if we bring it back up, it should be distorted, but it's not because it's a smart object, so it's retaining the original pixels. If you want to work on this image other than transformation, go ahead and right-click and choose Rasterize Layer, and then that'll allow you to do things such as cutting the image and masking and brushing and retouching and everything you need to do. So once you're done laying out your images, rasterize them, you can select all the layers and just choose Rasterize Layers to do it quickly, and then make your edits that way. Other than that, there's not much else to it. Album Builder saves you time by putting together your spreads for you and arranging them in a nice manner that makes it a lot easier to visually get started on a spread. As you can see here on this spread that I'm opening up, they're all nice and laid out in order that they were in the folder, and that gives me a nice way to get started as if I were looking at them in some kind of file browser. So use Album Builder to speed up your workflow and make production a lot easier on your life.